Hey guys, welcome to another video here on my channel. For those of you that are new, my name is Lakia and welcome to the Chaotic Critic family. For my returning subscribers, welcome back. Here on my channel, I share planning and organizational videos, plus so much more over on my blog, chaoticcritic.com. The link is always in the description box. The whole premise of my channel is to share with you guys how I'm crushing the chaos in my life with hopes that you'll be inspired and encouraged to crush the chaos in yours. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys how I am financially coping with this quarantine. This is a completely different perspective for me because usually when things like this happen, I am on the spectrum of not having any kind of income coming in, but thankfully this time I am in a different space. So while this is affecting people in ways that are not only sudden but unimaginable, I have been on that end before of not knowing where my next check is coming from, not knowing where, how am I going to pay for this and how am I going to pay for that. I do not have any children, but I do have my grandmother that I help her out with expenses a lot. So it's the two of us. And I'm thankful that we have a roof over our head and food. But I say all that to say, being on both ends of that spectrum of the unknown and having some source of income, now I have, a different perspective and I'm able to look at things differently and know and empathize with people that are now there in the situation that I have been in within the past 3 years. More times than I can literally count. It's happened so often. So I feel like God puts different things in our lives and I'm in a space now where that's not me this time. And while I could throw a pity party and say, well, that was me before, I'm thankful that it's not. I'm so grateful. And for all of you that are out there struggling in your own way with whatever that may be, just know that this too shall pass. When I was in that dark space and I was financially struggling, I never thought that there would be an end, and there always was. So that's just my little tidbit with that. So understanding and having perspective gives me more respect for money and how I need to manage it during these uncertain times. As for my income, I have my nanny job, which is my main source of income, and then my secondary source of income is my freelance work that I do, which is content marketing. And then I also have YouTube, but YouTube fluctuates. Freelance fluctuates as well, but it's much more than YouTube. And then I also have party planning and stuff that I did before this whole pandemic happened that I would do about once a month or once every other month. So that was a part of it as well. That's how I was able to build my savings. And I was a recipient of the stimulus check like many other people were. So how am I managing that? What am I doing with that? That is in my savings. That is what that is. I'm not spending it. I'm not touching it. I don't need it right now. So that's where that is. And I know people are very touchy in discussing their finances, but honestly, I feel like it's a learning experience when it comes to money and spending. I've been spending a lot of money, not just on takeout, but also on buying things on Amazon throughout this time. So all of that has to be taken into account. But how am I keeping up with it all? This page right here. Although if you guys have seen my previous videos, you know that I'm no longer in this planner, but I didn't I didn't transfer everything into my bullet journal just yet, but I will. I broke this page up from my monthly income of what I plan to receive. I made a grocery budget, a personal budget, things I need to pay, and then I created a little chart down here of the order of payment based on when I get paid. Now, being a nanny, when this whole pandemic started, I live in New Jersey. So we're right outside of New York, where I'm located in New Jersey. And if you watch the news, you know that New York, the numbers are astronomical between the number of cases to the ratio of death. And here in New Jersey, the numbers are lower than New York, but the numbers are skyrocketing as well. And when this whole thing first started, the schools were closed and I was going to work. I was literally going to work, home, and I may or may not go to the grocery store depending on the week. So being that I was working more hours, I went from working 25 hours a week to working 40 hours a week. So literally it nearly doubled. So my income went from $500 a week to $800 a week. And that lasted for about 2 weeks that I did 40 hours. And then right before the third week I did 35. I cut back a little bit because I was tired, y'all. I'm just gonna be honest. I cut back to 35. And then that was it. I stayed home because things got worse. We reached what they call the peak, the plateau, stay home. Things are not looking so great. So that significantly shifted everything that I was doing with work. Now, I was still, during that time, even though I was making more than what I normally made in a week, I was taking that. So I went from making 500 to 800. So I was taking that 300 and banking it in my savings. The following week, I did the same thing. With the $700, I did the same thing. So I was able to build my savings there because I realized that, you know, I don't know how this is gonna, you know, turn out, but also between having taxes to pay and just needing to have, you know, some kind of cushion to fall back on, I was still living off that $500. Now, if this was the old me, I would have been like, oh shoot, I'm making more money. Let me go and spend. That's what I mean by that perspective, changing my respect for money. And one of my goals for this year was to change my relationship with money. So, you know, as you become older, you become wiser, or so they say. But I knew that I needed to not put myself in a position to get comfortable with making X amount of dollars, because things during these uncertain times can switch and shift in a matter of minutes. So I'm thankful that when this shift happened of me being home, I had my freelance check come in. So that was helpful. That helped to balance out that week of, you know, the first half of the month is where a bulk of my bills are. So that includes my car note, which is pretty large, almost $300. I give my grandmother money every single week. I give her $150 a week. And then my phone bill, I was able to cut down to $120. It was $140, and that's for 2 lines for myself and my grandmother. My FiOS bill is now current. Everything I have, which I'm so blessed that everything is current. So I'm not in a space where I'm playing catch up, because the money that I'm making now is not so much more than what I was making back in 2017, 2018 when I was working corporate. When I was working corporate, I was playing catch up because, and that's the worst thing financially, is just trying to pay things down. I'm now in a space now where, you know, all my bills are being paid on time, and I could not be more thankful for that, because I know where I have been and I'm thankful to where I am now. Now, I did write my gym bill in here, which also comes out on the 1st, and that's like $25. But with gyms being closed, my account is frozen, but I always just leave that there. Now, Spotify is going to be coming out at the end of the month. I'm not canceling that. WW Network, I did go ahead and cancel that. I might pick it back up in May, but for right now, I didn't. And I decided to just go and look at where everything is and the due dates. And if I can do without it, fine. I did have CBS All Access. I had that for like a month. But I decided to go ahead and cancel that as well. If I do decide to pick it back up, I can. It's not necessary. But for me, having some kind of music I need is what I prefer. So that is something that I wanted. And then my link profile, which is through Instagram, basically making it easier. If you're on my IG, you click on a picture, you can find whatever it is that I'm talking about. That is what I use that for. It's just easier to me to have that linked in my bio, and I can link you to more than one video at a time in there. So that I like. When it comes to this order of payment schedule, I'm gonna go ahead and zoom in on this part here. So here where it has this order of payment, I get paid on Fridays. So even though right now I'm home and I'm not nannying, again, the family that I work for now is absolutely amazing. I've always wanted to be with a family that makes you feel a part of it. And I feel like the people that you have watching your kids are a part of the family. And the family that I work for has never made me feel any less than that. They are absolutely amazing. So while I'm not getting my full amount, I'm getting about 70% of it. And this is going to go on as long as this quarantine goes. The parents discuss with me that. So I'm very, very thankful to still be having some source of income come in so that I don't have to completely deplete my savings. So I'm very, very thankful for that. So when I first made this out, I was still working at the time. So things had to change a little bit, but I did it on the 3rd. So the 3rd is when everything changed. My car note, I went ahead and paid that. My FiOS, I went ahead and paid that. I went grocery shopping. I paid my grandmother the $150. The week of the 10th, T-Mobile came out, paid that. My rent, paid that. Kohl's is going to be coming out actually the week of, we are now in, let's see where we are. It's going to be the week of the 19th. So that is where this is going to go, to the 19th. And I have not paid my tithes yet, so I need to do that. The week of the 17th, which was here. And I basically start the week of what I get paid on the 17th is going to go into that next week until my next pay date. So that's how I do it. So my rent, I paid that. The link profile came out. And then Kohl's is going to be coming out from this amount as well. And then here, 424, the big ones that I have, WWE, I canceled that, so I'll take that off. But Spotify is going to be coming out. My rent I have to pay, the car insurance I have to pay, and then Spotify, and then Kohl's. So Kohl's is going to be coming from what I have left over now, and as well as Spotify, I'm going to count that. And then next week, the 150 plus 141 is basically going to eat up all the money that I'm making that week, but that's fine. These will be paid. So as long as they're paid, I don't care how much I have left over. I also want to note that I have some cash on me. I don't touch it, but I keep at least, I don't even know how much is in my wallet, but I have some cash in my wallet. And then I have cash when I do take out cash, the leftover that I have, whether it's singles or fives, I've been saving that as well. So I have cash in my wallet. I have cash in my little piggy bank. So all of that I take into account when I'm like, oh snap, I don't have any money left over. It's like, what do I need money left over for anyway? My fridge and my freezer is fully stocked, thank God. I did one huge grocery trip at the beginning of the month when I got paid the week of the 3rd. So I went and did that. And then as for gas in my car, gas is super cheap. So filling up my tank is going to cost me less than $20. I can either do debit or cash for that. Doesn't really matter. But that's really the only thing. I had to think about what it was that I was ordering on Amazon, if it was a necessity or not. So those are things that I had to put into perspective. I'm trying not to do any frivolous spending. I will say that, you know, getting the stimulus check took me back to when I would get my refund checks from college, and it's like, yo, big baller, go splurge, go do something with it. And I was like, you really want that Dyson vacuum? Go buy it. The Dyson is $400. It's not a necessity right now. It is not a necessity for me right now. So I had to check myself and check my ego a little bit. Like, stop being comfortable, because with comfortability comes complacency. And I just don't want to put myself back in that situation again. But that is how I'm juggling my finances right now. My prayers go out to everyone that is struggling in any way, shape, or form. Again, I know what it's like. I've been in that space. But like I said, we'll make it through. If you guys have any questions or suggestions, in regards to the information I just shared, feel free to leave it in the comment section below. Be sure to check out all the links in the description box, which will have related videos as well as products featured, and of course the blog and Instagram. The blog is chaoticcritic.com. My Instagram is @chaoticcritic. If you're not subscribed to the Chaotic Critic fam, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. And for all of you that are, I thank you guys. I love you. Stay safe. And I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.